So I'm walking back to the car with Richard to head to our next spot, and I noticed that hole in the ground right there. And then sure enough, right there, that is a big old Diamondback. Look at the string. Oh my goodness. So well camouflaged down in there. All right, Greg, what are we getting into today?
I don't know. Hopefully something.
All right, and here's our second loggerhead musk turtle of the year, foraging. We lost one a minute ago, but this guy is just sitting here munching on these corbicula.
Already feeding.
Yep.
That's a big deal. Very cool.
Yeah, he had his like neck arched and everything. All right, well, we've seen 2 loggerheads, and the fact that we're seeing turtles probably means we're gonna see snakes today. It's just a matter of figuring out where they're overwintering here. And we have a lot of good habitat ahead of us, so we shall see. What's going on with all these dudes? The fish conference. All right, there's a distant cooter. Not a great look. Hopefully we'll be able to catch one eventually today, but I think that's our first of the year we've gotten a positive ID on. There's our first snake of the day that we get a look at. A brown water snake. Awesome. Just chilling.
Is it on the bank?
No, he's up in the bushes, like right in front of me. He is the top layer of the bush. Turtle man versus Nerodia.
Very brown.
Hopefully that's a good sign that there will be at least a few snakes out this afternoon. We shall see. Greg just rock flipped a green tree frog. Look at that guy. And he's actually very pretty too. Doesn't look like a winter green. All right, guys, it's getting to be like mid-afternoon, and we've seen a few things, but it has been slower than I was hoping. It's kind of been a trend the last week or so. We're finding stuff, but it just is not quite full-blown spring like I was hoping, considering just how warm it is. But I do think, considering the temperatures today, we don't necessarily need the sun to find snakes. So we're gonna hit the vicinity of some cottonmouth overwintering dens, and hopefully we'll see one out. All right, guys, I just flipped some tin and was kind of surprised to see what looks to be 3 brown snakes. 1 there and then 2 here. Little spring emergence cluster. We'll flip the next layer too and see if there's anything else. It's their time of year. All right, we'll let these guys go. Nice brown snake triple flip. Wish I had the GoPro on, but it's getting to be that time of year where I need to make sure to charge and run the GoPro as often as possible. All right, guys, Greg just flipped another fossorial snake species, the ringneck snake, very common in Metro Atlanta and one of our earlier to emerge snake species. So not too surprising to see this guy. But I am definitely a little surprised we haven't seen more snake volume in general today with how warm it is. It's in the mid-70s, definitely the warmest day of the year locally. So we'll let this guy go and try to take advantage of the little part of the day that's left and hopefully see at least 1 or 2 more things. There we go. First Metro Atlanta Cottonmouth of the year. From a distance. We'll try to get closer. Well, we knew they had to be out today. Over 75 degrees, partly cloudy this morning. Just has felt great ever since we hit the field, and it's been a little slow, but it's the cusp of spring, so it's the cusp of springtime activity. Wasn't really too much of a surprise to not stack a ton of snakes today, but I'm glad we at least got a few. Hey, buddy. Nice to see you. He woke up and looked at us a little bit, but doesn't seem to be too bothered by us on looking, so we'll leave him to his business. But this guy's looking a little bit on the thin side. Definitely is going to be looking for a meal here soon, so he can get some energy to start the new year, because he definitely doesn't have much in the way of fat reserves coming out of hibernation. So there's Greg with the first one over there. Right there. Number 2. So there's the one I spotted, and then Greg came over to see it and spotted yet another one. This one's completely tucked in the grass. Look at that. 3 cottons all right next to each other after a long day of not finding any. Okay, so for a little more perspective, here's one. Yeah, I see you. And then I'm gonna try not to step on these other, or any others that we don't see yet, and go over here to where Greg is looking at the other 2. So we saw a snake at this stump hole in the fall when we came and visited some of these same dens. And right now, can see there's that guy. And then that one is real hard to see from this angle. I can't even see him right now, actually. Yeah, he's basically obscured. A quick pass, don't see any others. And we'll kind of come around here just a tad where you can see that guy. Very well concealed. What a fun day. So here's some good news for you guys. A few months ago, back in like early mid-November, I discovered this particular pond and we found a female marbled salamander on eggs in it. And it looks as if her log has been submerged. So her larvae are hopefully floating around in this pond now. And we're not victims of the drought. Because I'm pretty sure the log was like right there somewhere. And there's not even a log right here that I can flip at the moment. They're all underwater. All right, guys, well, we're definitely going to be wrapping up because it's just getting late. We got out a little bit late today because I had a late night last night getting back from our weekend of indigo surveys. So that would have probably been in the last episode, but we're going to pick this one up next time I get out, which will probably be tomorrow. So it's good hanging with Greg. I'm sure we'll be seeing this guy a lot over the next few weeks. Good morning, everybody. It is a warm February day, a warm early spring day, one might even say, here in the Georgia coastal plain. And we're out on a beautiful sand hill getting ready to hopefully find some snakes. We're gonna be hiking around all day today. I've got my GoPro on. The weather is about as good as it gets. And we've got a burn. First burn we've been able to walk this spring. So very excited to see what today could turn up. So let's get to it and hopefully we'll be finding some snakes. So if you're a regular viewer of the channel and this is not your first year watching, you know that the annual spring light the woods on fire party is my favorite time of the year, or at least one of my favorite times of the year, because everything is just so beautiful and open. You can walk around and see exactly where you're stepping. You don't have to worry about stepping on venomous snakes. Obviously you still have to be careful, but it's not nearly as easy to just completely accidentally step on one. But that also means it's easier to just locate them and appreciate them. So that's what we're doing today, walking around this burn forest, hoping to see some snakes basking and taking advantage of this early spring warmth. That is an impressive longleaf. Look at that. Oh, that's awesome. That's got to be one of the bigger trees in this area. Richer for scale. That is a massive longleaf. That's not something we see in Georgia every day. Beautiful. Pitcher plants. I'm guessing these are rubra. Either way, very, very cool to see in this part of the state. So I'm walking back to the car with Richard to head to our next spot, and I noticed that hole in the ground right there. Right there. And then sure enough, right there. That is a big old diamondback. Look at the string. Oh my goodness. So well camouflaged down in there. This thing seems to be pretty chill. Not really concerned with us. Love to see it. So I don't want to bother the snake, but it is possible this is the biggest one I've ever seen. It's not going to be the heaviest because it doesn't have a meal in it, but it could be the longest. So we're going to move it out in the open a little bit and just see. Hey, big guy. Hey. Hey. Oh my God. Yep.
Did you touch him?
No.
He just decided it was over. Huh?
Yeah, he's ready to be done with us. So yeah, this guy is definitely top two for sure. It's between this guy and the 5.5 footer from the first raffle winners trip in 2022, I think it was. Easily tied or maybe even bigger than the biggest diamondback I've ever seen in length. And it's a little bit on the thin side too. Really, really crazy. That might be one of the prettiest diamondbacks I've ever seen too. It's so gorgeously yellow, so beefy, and it's a little bit thin. It's not like the fattest snake. It's just beefy because of how old and how big it is. Really, really amazing. Anyways, we bothered this beautiful snake enough. We'll leave it to its business and continue on. We still got plenty of day to find another one or maybe something else. There's a little Richard for scale. You can see just how big this thing is. I mean, that is bonkers. Currently making his way back towards his burrow. But what a beast. Yes, I see you and I respect you. We're gonna keep our distance. King snake, beautiful king snake. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, that's a little bit gorgeous. Holy cow, what a day. Diamondback and king snake is the only snakes. All right, that is our first Eastern Kingsnake of the year.
Yep.
Only the third one I've ever found here, and it looks like it just ate another snake. He might have raided that rodent nest. There might have been mice in there, but I mean, he is absolutely full of food. That is amazing. He's pretty big. What a guy. So I think the craziest thing about this snake is by far just how healthy it is. This thing has a belly full of either snake or rodent. I'm kind of leaning snake because of how elongated the bolus is. It starts around here and seems to go throughout a lot of the body. It could be a short, fat snake like a young rattlesnake or even a hognose, but holy crap, what a beauty. I really did not expect to see my first king snake of the year today. This is not an area where they're common. It's not a county where they're super common. This particular spot I've now found 3, so they're decently common here, but in this exact county, overall, a very, very good find. But very healthy, about as healthy as you could ask for with a belly full of food, getting ready for spring. Beautiful adult male Eastern Kingsnake is our first of the year. I could not be more stoked with how today has gone between the Diamondback and this guy. All right, we'll put this guy back under his tin and keep flipping. The day is still relatively young. It's like 3 o'clock, so we have another hour or 2 of quality light. So you can see pretty clearly that this is a crinkled up snake that this thing has eaten from this angle. Eastern Kingsnake, super, super healthy, belly full of snake in early February here in the Georgia Coastal Plain. All right, never change, you beautiful beast. Here's your 10 stack. Go digest that snake. Unreal. Yeah. Oh, gray rat. I thought it was a rattlesnake sitting there for a second. Hey, buddy. All right, here we have a huge gray rat. This is actually a snake that I think I saw 2 years ago with Mike Pingleton at the same spot. Definitely was a lot healthier back then, but he's got a pretty distinct facial marking there. We will just let him roll back under his piece of tin here. It's a big snake. Definitely close to or over 6 foot. All right, everybody. Well, that is going to be it for this week's second episode. It was an unbelievable day in the field in the coastal plain. The king snake and the diamondback alone made the day, but then we had a couple of other things mixed in, like the big rat snake. Just fantastic early season herping the last couple of outings. And I don't expect that to stop anytime soon. This is one of my favorite times of year. I am so excited for the next few weeks to come. I hope you guys are too. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.